All right, everybody. The game just wrapped up over here to my right. Game wrapped up about, I'd say, 10 minutes ago. I've been sitting here trying to decide how I feel, decide what I'm going to take away from this game. And first of all, I just want to say thank you to the Chiefs for taking care of business there at the end, because that makes it easier for me, right? If the Niners had won, I'd have to be sitting here thinking about how crappy this offseason was going to be, with the Niners sitting at the very top of the mountain and the Seahawks just trying to figure out how to get back there to dethrone them. And even if you do dethrone them, they already did the thing. Now they haven't done the thing. Now it's another year of people wondering what's up with this Kyle Shanahan guy, what's up with this Brock Purdy guy, what's up with John Lynch, what's up with everything going on with this Niners team, because I've seen Niners fans. I know how they kind of have a reaction to every little thing that doesn't go exactly the way they were hoping. And I know that despite the tremendous amount of success they've had over the last several years, it kills them that they can't finish the job. And I think that leads to them having some overly strong reactions to things. So we are going to see that, I'm sure. So, Chiefs win, like I said, overtime, took the full overtime period. It was a really good game. It wasn't always extremely well played by by both teams. Like, we had turnovers by both teams. We had turnovers, I think 2 by both. And we had mistakes. We had a couple of penalties. Not really that many, though. But at no point did those mistakes overshadow the competitiveness of this game. So I think that this was an entertaining game. It was a really good game. And you saw some really good stuff out there to go with some of the messier stuff. So I'm feeling pretty good about the game that I just watched, both in terms of who won that game and who and how that game went. But realistically, that having the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, because the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl doesn't really do anything to me, right? I'm a Seahawks fan. Chiefs were in my division over 20 years ago, but I don't hate that team. I hate the way they acted after a certain game earlier this year, admittedly, but I don't really care if the Chiefs want to keep winning. Like honestly, if not for some of the things that happened earlier this year, I kind of like this Chiefs team. I love Andy Reid. Andy Reid's one of my favorite people in football. I love to see that guy win and have success. I don't mind Mahomes. I love watching him. He's fun to watch. Occasionally he gets on my nerves, yeah. There's some stuff going on with the Kelsey, Taylor Swift stuff that I understand was a little bit off-putting, but it's minor compared to the big picture of watching a team execute at a really high level of football for an extended period of time. So I don't mind the Chiefs winning, and I certainly don't mind it when it comes at the expense of the 49ers. So that part, I'm good. I mean, I would rather see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl than a division rival. I'd rather see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl than a team like the Patriots. I'd rather see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl than a team like the Cowboys or the Steelers or one of those teams. So I'm chilling, and I'm going to go into this offseason feeling like I don't want to just crawl in a hole for the next 2 months so I don't have to deal with the offseason chatter. So that's nice. But I want to ask, what do we learn from this game, the way this game went? So coming out of the Super Bowl last year, I remember I made a video basically saying it feels like defense in the NFL is dead. It feels like defense in the NFL is just gone, because you had this Philadelphia Eagles team that had one of the greatest pass rushes in NFL history. Statistically and eye test wise, that Eagles defense was as deadly as any defense we've seen in a long time. They got after the quarterback like the '85 Bears. And then you had a Chiefs team that had an injured Patrick Mahomes and no Tyreek Hill, because he had already been traded, of course. So it felt like the defense was going to get some blows in there. And then during that game, Mahomes gets injured even further around halftime. And it just looks like, okay, this is going to be a boat race. Philly's going to crush them because they have the elite defense. The Chiefs don't. Chiefs defense did nothing. Eagles defense did nothing that whole game. Eagles offense put up 35 points, and it wasn't enough. Chiefs offense did what they wanted, when they wanted, and that Eagles pass rush meant nothing in that game. So I came away from that game thinking, like, defense is dead. if an elite offense coached by an elite coach with an elite quarterback, which is what the Chiefs had last year, even through all the other problems like thin wide receiver cores, then defense just doesn't really matter that much anymore. That's how I felt coming out of that game. But this game, I think the first thing that jumps out to me is defense starting to make a little bit of a comeback. Like we've seen throughout this season, cover 2 shell really just wiping out these offenses, forcing them to just slowly matriculate the ball down the field, taking away the deep stuff, taking away the big play. And I gotta say that it's had an effect on the whole year, and we've seen it statistically and analytically, and as just with what we watch. And going into the Super Bowl, I know it doesn't look that bad, but neither team broke 20 points until the overtime period. So I kind of come out of this game feeling the opposite, because those were 2 elite defenses out there today. I understand, but they're also 2 elite offenses. Kansas City's got the best quarterback in the league. They've got Andy Reid, one of the greatest head coaches of all time, one of the greatest offensive masterminds ever. They've got Travis Kelce, who I don't know how much Kelce really has left, but future Hall of Fame tight end, one of the 5 greatest tight ends in NFL history, no doubt about it in my mind. They've got some really good players on that offense for sure. And then San Francisco, you've got Shanahan, the absolute genius that he is, the best skill position players out there. You got, sorry about my dog, you got McCaffrey, you've got Debo, you've got Ayuk, you've got Kittle, you've got Trent Williams. There's a lot going on both of these offenses that is stellar, and neither team broke 20 until OT. So I'm kind of looking at this, and I'm thinking back to the conversations we had after Pete Carroll was let go a month and a half ago, about how you want an offensive coach because defensive coaches... Sorry. About, you don't want a defensive head coach because defense doesn't matter enough anymore in the NFL. The defenses can't stop the offenses. And obviously that's been the trend for decades and decades and decades. But this is something the Hawks Nest talked about earlier while we were discussing the Mike McDonald hire. A couple weeks ago, we actually had a conversation about this. Is defense going to catch up to the offense here? And I kind of doubted it. I kind of questioned it because I didn't think that the league would allow it. And you're still seeing a little bit of that. You're still seeing a little bit of the way the NFL calls these games, the way the NFL rules on things, that they want it to be an offensive-driven league. They do. But they don't really have anything they can do about the fact that this cover 2 shell stuff and some of the things these defenses can do on top of that, like the teams with really good defensive players like these 2 teams have, there's not much they can do about that. They can be really aggressive calling the illegal contacts. They can be really aggressive with the defensive holding calls and pass interference stuff. They can do that stuff, but there's only so much that they can do about the fact that schematically defenses are starting to get on top of this. So, yeah, I'm coming away from this Super Bowl kind of feeling the opposite that I did about last year's Super Bowl. Other than that, I mean, I'm happy the referees didn't have a big say in this game. I really don't feel like they did. I do feel like the team that deserved to win won. I don't think the officials intervened in any over-the-top terrible way. Yeah, there were some calls and non-calls that I, of course, didn't agree with, but I thought it evened out really well. I thought that there were some non-calls on holding, which, frankly, you don't want to see a holding call on every single play of a game. Because, trust me, they could call holding on every single play of a game if they really wanted to. Nobody wants that. So, yeah, I haven't seen who won Super Bowl MVP yet. I'm sure it's going to be Mahomes, which, I mean, he had almost 400 yards of offense. I think it was 399, and ultimately drove the team down for the game-winning touchdown. Like, no issues there. I know some people are going to argue for other players to win it, but in my mind, there's a reason why they always give Super Bowl MVP to the quarterback. There's a reason why they always give the benefit of the doubt to the quarterback, because the quarterback kind of has his hand on everything the offense does, even when he's not the one putting up the numbers. And at the end of the day, it was the Chiefs' offense that pulled this game out at the end. So, yeah, great game. I'm satisfied with the result because it's not a division rival winning the Super Bowl. And again, I don't hate the Chiefs. I hate some of their behavior this year, admittedly. I do. But nothing that outweighs my lack of interest in watching division rivals win championships on my watch. So, Niners going to have to try to figure this out for another offseason. And it's another offseason where maybe we can knock them off and make sure we're part of the reason why it doesn't happen. Too many years now, we've been part of the reason why it does happen. The Niners and Rams walk over us to go on their Super Bowl runs. Maybe next year we'll be part of the reason why they don't go on that Super Bowl run because they can't get past us. That'd be nice. All right. I can't really think of too much else to say about this game. I don't know what to make of Brock Purdy right now. He played decently. He played okay. Nothing that blew me away. Obviously, he gets carried by his teammates in a way that no other quarterbacks really do. And he didn't do anything to lose the game, but he didn't win it. And at the end of the day, I can't say with any degree of certainty that they're going to commit to him or not. They don't have to. They got one more year left on that rookie deal. So I don't know what to think about that. We might be looking at Kirk Cousins in San Francisco red and white next year. So, yeah, I'm happy. I think most Seahawks fans are happy. Some of them only deep down. Some of them won't admit it yet, but I think most of them are. So if you feel like you learned anything else about where the NFL is headed right now from this game, anything that you're taking away from this season that's going to inform how you feel about the decisions the team should make in the upcoming months and years, let me know. Because my number one takeaway is that defense might be back, and maybe Mike Macdonald really can get this done.